Hi, my name is Kelly. Welcome to the channel. I'm Kelly Martin. I am a traditionally independently published author. I'm also a developmental editor. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. I appreciate you coming back. Today we're going to talk about a topic that is kind of organic, that came to me organically this week because I got asked this question by an author, and I figured I would talk to you about it too in a really short video. I have to leave in like 15 minutes, so we'll see if we can get this finished. So the question was, how much marketing do I think about when I do my developmental edits? If you don't know, I'm a developmental editor. I'm a freelance developmental editor, and I'm also a developmental editor for a publishing company. So the question was, when I do developmental edits for somebody, do I think about the marketing potential for that book, and do I give my edits and feedback based on the marketability of that book? And it was a really good question, and I don't think there is a right or wrong answer, but we're going to talk about some things that you and your developmental editor, or if you are a developmental editor, your client, can think about, so you know exactly what you are expecting and providing for the edit. Now, I have never really thought about it, actually, of providing marketing feedback for a developmental edit. When I'm still a writer, but every time I got developmental edits from any of my books that's been published in the world, I always focused on the story. All of my edits that I got back from my developmental editor were all based on story elements, plot holes, what works, what doesn't work, things like that. In my developmental edits, I work on things that work in the story, things that don't exactly go with the story, plot holes, obviously, things that might need to change around, things that slow the pacing down. We work on pacing. If it's an in-depth developmental edit, I also work on characterization. Are the characters' story arcs? Do they go through the whole story? Do they follow a path through the whole story? Are the characters the exact same at the beginning that they were at the end? Or did the characters do something that just makes no sense for that particular character? Those are the things I look for in a developmental edit. I also look for, does the book start in the right place? I have had books that don't start where you would think it would need to start, or it starts in an action piece, which can be good, but you don't know what's going on, what's happening, and it loses some of the punch. I do work on that with developmental edits too, and I appreciate my developmental editors when they do the same for me. So that's what I look for in a developmental edit for myself. Is the story working? Does it make sense? Are there plot holes? I'm going to stop saying plot holes. Does the character motives make sense? Are there overreaching end game make sense? That's what I look for in my developmental edits that I get from my editor, and what I provide, or what I think to provide my clients. Now, when I was asked about marketing in my developmental edits, at first I was kind of confused because I didn't really think about marketing in developmental edits. Does that make any sense? Like, marketing as a developmental editor has never been, marketing for that book has never been my top priority. Storyline, story, elements, all that is what I usually focus on in developmental edits. So when I was asked about marketing, and does, not necessarily just marketing, but does this book meet the marketing standards or the marketing criteria of different books in that genre, I didn't really know what to think. Not that it's not a good question. It is a fantastic question. It's something that I've never really thought about before, and I don't know if many other developmental editors have thought of that before. If you're a developmental editor, tell me in the comments if you put okay, these are the things that don't go with your mass market genre. You might want to fix these if you want a traditional contract, or if you want to be more mass market appeal, I guess. Do you put that in your edits? And if you're an author, one, do you have that already in your edits, or is it something that you would like to have in your edits or expect to have in your edits? I just want to talk about this. I think it's a great thing. I never thought about it before, to be honest. It has never been in any of the developmental edits I've ever gotten. It's never been in any of the ones I've ever provided. However, I think it leads to a really amazing discussion, because expectations, it need between you and your editor, or if you're an editor, you and your client. What you expect in a developmental edit can be totally different what they expect in a developmental edit. And I think most people know the difference in developmental edits and copy edits and grammar edits, galley edits. I think that's pretty well known. If you don't know, developmental edits are story edits, hooks, plot lines, things like that in the story. It's story elements. Do the story elements make sense? Then you have copy edits, proofreading edits, which is grammar. Does the grammar make sense? Are your tenses the same all throughout the story? Point of view the same? And I think in developmental edits, you can also say, hey, this point of view is not working. Maybe you need to change it to third person, maybe change it to first person, or if you would like to change it, that it's a suggestion. You can also say, hey, there's too many points of view in this story. Maybe you can cut a few of those down. I have done that in, I think, one developmental edit. I asked if the author was comfortable with taking out one of the points of view, because it really wasn't necessary for the story. So, all that to say, when you contract a service or when you offer a service, it is a great idea to have a list of questions that you want to ask before you pay or contract for the service. Because what one person wants or expects might be something that you've never even thought of. Maybe if you pay for developmental edit and the editor comes back with like marketing things, it might set you back. You might be like, oh, I wasn't expecting this. Or it could go the totally opposite way. You could want that in your edit. Be sure to talk to your editor. Make sure you know exactly what you're getting in your edit. Are you getting a Zoom meeting with your editor? Are you getting any more feedback from your editor? Will your editor answer emails? How long after the edit is back to you? Do you expect to get replies from that editor? Because some editors might be, I will talk to you for a month, but then after that, I've got other things to do and I won't have time to get back to you. That's something you need to know, because you don't want to feel ghosted, but the other editor might have already moved on. You need to know all this stuff up front. You need to know what you are paying for. You need to know what you are expected to do and how it intertwines with your client and your story and your business. If the client has been with other developmental editors and they offer a 2-hour Zoom call to go over the edits and you don't, but of course that author is going to think every editor does that, or maybe that author thinks every editor does a developmental evaluation note, or doesn't know the difference in an evaluation and a comprehensive edit. that's going to lead to some problems, and you don't want that. You want everybody to have a wonderful and fantastic experience in their edits, no matter what. If you are looking for any kind of edit, if you're doing any kind of service, you need to be very upfront about what is expected, what you are expected. And the thing is, things can come up that I never thought about marketing. And it wasn't an author I was working with. It was just one, hey, do you do marketing evaluations? Not marketing. It's how does it fit in your genre, basically, type of service in your edit. And I never thought of it. So that's what I think, even when you go over every question you can think of, sometimes things happen and questions come up. And it's a really good thing to have a great dialogue between you and your author, or you and your publishing company, and write down all the questions that people have asked you in the past and try to answer those in either a fact sheet or a do you have any questions type of thing, and map everything out. Because not every editor, every editing service, every publisher, or every author expect the same things from every edit. I have known some authors that expect grammar to be completed in a developmental edit, and it's not generally, unless it's offered in the service, which would be in your contract. Contracts are important. So everybody knows, especially your deadline, what will be offered at the deadline. Like if you are offering a Zoom meeting to go over edits, how long after the edits will you be able to schedule out the Zoom call? Will it be indefinite, or can you say you have 3 months from the time you get the edits back to schedule a Zoom call with me? It's a lot. Once you get into it, it's a lot. I don't mean for it to be scary. I don't think there is not a bad thing. Like, there is no bad in any of this. I love that this person asked me that question because it made me think. I don't know. I think it's a really good idea, though. I think it's something to look for in developmental edits on the marketability of a book. If it meets the criteria that is usually in a certain genre of book. And it's a good thing to know as an author. Whether that should be in a developmental edit or not, that's up to you. That's up to you as an editor. If that's something you want to offer, if it's something you're not comfortable with, tell the author that up front. If you're an author and you don't want that in your developmental edit, and you don't want to know about marketing, you just want your story to be how you want it, you don't care about marketing, tell your editor that. So, tell me all about your developmental edits. Tell me all about your editing experiences, good or bad. If it's bad, don't leave the name of the person that did it, please. We want a nice comment section. But tell me the things you expect in a developmental edit, or things you would like in a developmental edit, things that you offer as a developmental editor. All right, guys. I don't have any real story updates, except I have made it to 62,000 words, short of 80,000. But yeah, we're seeing where that's going. Yeah, someday I'll be able to tell you other things. I will see you in next week's video. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And tell me what you think about all this in the comments. Honestly, was this something I should have known beforehand? Did all editors put marketing in their edits, and either my editors didn't, or I just didn't know to? You can tell me that too. I can't change all the edits I've done before, but I can do better moving forward. All right, I'll see you in the next video.